hopefully this will be as entertaining as we hope it is. We've been getting a lot of 2-0s. It's been basically Mega Man 2-0 randomizer at this point, and now we got megakyle and dagit going at it. And as you expect, they go into one of our favorite signature stages, signature starting stages, that is in Quickman. So why we start with Quickman typically? It's either usually Quickman or Flashman in these randomizer races, because usually there's an easy E-Tank that they can get on the get-go. So having an E-Tank is actually more important than you think. Since you don't know what enemies can be in the way, having an E-Tank, especially for rougher enemies, can be pretty vital. So going to stages like Quickman is actually pretty good to go. Not to mention, items isn't as important here.
Well, we're seeing a lot of tin cans show up, and you get bodied by one of those, as you can see by megakyle's life bar. Not really agreeing with that too much, as about 40% of his life bar was gone on one hit. Dagit's picking up a couple drops along the way, so he's been able to recover a little better.
So before we can get to our first boss, let's just quickly talk about what the randomizer does. But Mega Man 2 randomizer, in a brief sentence or so, technically what's randomized is literally just about anything and everything that is in Mega Man's overall movement and the vanilla level design. The level design hasn't changed. Those are much harder to change. But the boss you get in the stages change, as you're about to see. We're about to see who's in Quickman's boss room now, and right now we got vanilla Quickman. Way to make me a liar right now.
So much for having the bosses randomized, huh?
Right, yeah. And not to mention, not to forget to mention, the trackers above, which you'll see being utilized here, were made by Dagit, who's actually running here on the left. And you'll see it's working now. Last race we had it up, but we didn't have it working. Now we have it working. Awesome. And megakyle gonna get his as well. And well, normally the trackers, we're gonna use it for stages to tell which stages the players have been to so far. So just in case you join in late, you can look at the tracker and say, hey, oh man, he's already done Quickman stage, you know. And then we'll also, you can see the items down there too.
And speaking of the items, they picked up item 2 as well. That is exactly what megakyle is putting to good use, using it to jump through, well, kind of float his way through the first part of the Bubble Man stage, and into the water he goes, as Dagit has chosen to go to Flashman stage instead.
Both stages are pretty good second bosses to go through. Bubble Man is technically a straightforward stage. As you see, megakyle is doing the pause buffer zip that typically for Buster only, and for those that you don't have item 1, and he does get it successfully. Meanwhile, Dagit is going to Flashman, very short stage, another simply straightforward stage, also has another E-Tank that you can get towards the end of the stage. So Flashman is usually another starting point as well. So Dagit's on his way to his next boss. Hopefully he'll prove what I was trying to say before about the randomizer, that bosses are indeed randomized. There's also randomized boss AI.
Megakyle missed the platform and took a death. Oh, what a shame.
Was there an enemy in the way, or he just completely missed?
No, just short jumped and didn't make it.
That's unfortunate. That's going to cost him a good amount of time, as Dagit goes in to fight Woodman and flash him.
Pretty slow falling leaves and leaf shield everywhere, but a very weak Woodman, so Dagit was able to pierce through the shields and take him out very quickly. So right now, Dagit has quite a bit of a lead thanks to megakyle's slip up.
Yeah, I think that was completely just execution on megakyle, well, lack of it by missing the jump, but that's definitely going to put him behind, as Dagit's going to be able to head into the Bubble Man stage. Looks like a similar strategy to just engage item 2, but Dagit gets knocked off. where megakyle was able to make it all the way through this first section.
But yeah, in chat, someone was hearing Bionic Commando music. Yes, this randomizer actually randomizes music from multiple sources as megakyle finds Heatman in Bubbleman's room. Let's see how his movement is enhanced. Well, not much. His movement's kind of vanilla-ish.
Yeah, this is going to be a long fight, too. Heatman's only taking 2 points of damage, so this is going to be 14 cycles of fun with Heatman here for megakyle.
It's worth noting that for the tournament, for those that are wondering, yes, we are running in easy mode. We run in easy mode just for simple simplicity for new players that can come in, because normal mode really ups the ante in difficulty, especially since the damage points for any enemy will shoot up and the boss health will be reduced, especially for Buster, and it can make some of these robot masters really, really tough or very, very tedious. So for the sake of simplicity, we have allowed easy mode for this particular tournament match as we find Item 1 in Bubbleman stage.
Now, another part of the easy mode here is that every robot master will take at least 2 points of damage from the Buster Shot. What you've seen before with Quickman and Flashman, I believe both of them are a set of the 4 robot masters that will take 4 points of damage instead of 2. So that way, no matter what stage you start with, you've got a shot against whichever boss it is that you find at the end of the level.
And we got a pretty unique sound for our Leaf Shield. One of the intricacies of Randomizer as far as aesthetics is that some sound effects for the weapons have changed. So that's quite an interesting sound for our Leaf Shield.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to start saying what doesn't get randomized in this particular randomizer game, as that list seems a lot shorter than everything that does get randomized. Dagit on his way into Woodman with, I want to say about a 45-second lead here.
Yeah, and you see there's actually one of those crushers in the trees there as Dagit was trying to dance and trying to bait it to fall. That one actually glitched out, stuck in a tree. That actually happens in that spawn one. I've noticed. We'll see if Dagit tries for the Goodwood Zip, if he knows how to do it or not. He might not know how to do it. He might. He might, because he has been practicing. So we'll see what happens. He finds Bubble for the dogs here, for the hot dogs. One shot, and it's going to allow him to go right through.
Well, regardless of
unfortunately,
Dagit,
the bubble doesn't want to crawl up the wall.
Well, regardless if Dagit does Goodwood or not, which he opts not to, megakyle following suit in Woodman stage, we don't know what Item 1's capable of. For those that don't know, Items 2 and 3, for the sake of completion, has not changed. But Item 1 is the only item that has the capability of changing. Its height and its duration are the factors that Item 1 is randomized in. Meanwhile, we got the Fantasy Inquisition seem to be popping up in a little bit of a Woodman stretch.
And Buster Immune Lightning Lords for megakyle here. So he's gonna find Bubble as well, one shot, and we'll see if he intends to going for the Goodwood Zip or not.
Now, having the ability to see where both of the runners are, we can see megakyle's behind, and it looks like he's choosing not to go for the zip either.
Yeah, I noticed both runners don't have quick boomerang, which some people can do it without, but Quick Boomerang really does help, and Heatman's weapon also helps make that zip go a little smoother and faster. Some people aren't comfortable with going for an array setting, that's understandable as well. End up wasting more time. So, yeah, we find Flash Man in Wood Arena, and Dagit finds Bubble to do the job.
Well, Bubble really wasn't that effective. It's just he probably just didn't want to just waste too much time in searching for weapons. Anyway, Flashman was slow on walk, but had some quick low jumps, pretty much just smothering Dagit. In the meanwhile, we still haven't found out item 3 yet, so we're just gonna go straight into Metal Man stage and see what it's gonna do there. We might see if item 1 is good or not, because we might see the zip. Yep, here comes Metal 1. Let's see if he tries the zip. I don't know yet.
That might be disappearing a little too fast, and it looks like Dagit realized that the item 1's not going to last on screen long enough to pull off this particular zip here.
I'm not sure. It looked like it was hitting the ceiling and it disappeared, so I'm really not 100% sure yet. But meanwhile, it looks like Metal Man stage is basically the Joe factory, as we got a crap ton of Joes and Joe Mechs on the first stretch of screens.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Those are, once you see a bunch of Joe Mechs, Joes, Sniper Joes, it's like, man, you know, you better be ready to take it. It's just gonna happen.
Yeah, this is bringing flashbacks from a race you were part of a couple days ago, Creed.
Yeah, that was fun. Let's never speak of it again.
That's why I'm not mentioning specifics. I'm just, you know, I'm saying, you know, hey.
Yeah,
it was a thing.
Well, meanwhile, we actually had another fan sighting it on Dagit's Metal Man screen, trying to use item 2 to skip some of the rest of the stage, but getting knocked off by the fans. The fat fans can negate the item 2 movement and blow you off the item 2. So you pretty much gotta be forced to huff it, as you're pretty much gonna be expecting fat fans for the rest of the area. Luckily, it wasn't on that one particular jump that Dagit just passed.
Yeah, he found a tin can waiting for him on the other side of the E-Tank Leap of Faith.
megakyle opting to use item 2 for the second half of Airman stage, which is actually much friendlier than what you probably would expect. Airman being one of the more dangerous stages, as Dagit finishes off his fight in the Metal Room. What was the boss in Metal Room? I wasn't watching.
It was Metal Man, Is This Even Randomized?
Oh, good gracious alive.
But he's gonna find item 3, so that's pretty legit. He's gonna join megakyle on Airman stage.
Ooh, we got ourselves a slight dumb crash. He was able to fire a little bit, but our little idiot here was pretty much walking back and forth, not doing too much. megakyle able to take him out pretty easily.
I'm sorry, I'm just letting this music play through, because if you guys didn't know, this is probably number 1 on my list of Mega Man tracks.
That's right, you are indeed a Crash enthusiast. I should have knew better.
You know, I really don't know what the best songs from Mega Man 2 are. I mean, I do, but it's hard to pick a favorite for me. I mean, I do like Woodman's song a lot, I like Metal a lot, I like Air a lot. The whole soundtrack's really good, especially Wily 1. And, you know, Crash is up there too. Can't complain. The music's just really good. And, you know, it's always good to hear regular Mega Man 2 music in the randomizer as well, but like some of these songs in the randomizer, oh my goodness, they're so good. So Duckfist, shout outs to him for the amazing playlist of all the hacks from Mega Man 2 that he's added and everything, and awesome work.
Yeah, not only Mega Man 2 hacks, but at least one Mega Man 1 hack, you'll be able to hear some Mega Man 1 music. As mentioned in chat already, there was some Bionic Commando music, and actually a little more obscure source than Legendary Wings as well. So at least over 100 tracks to choose from as far as music goes in any given randomizer C. So there's a lot of variety in music in this thing, as Dagit takes out his dumb crash.
And that's 6 down for Dagit. He's got Heat and Crash left to go. Which I couldn't have told you until the character select screen, if it wasn't for the tracker he made. So, rock and roll. And shoutouts to Fiesel for getting it implemented.
Ooh, it looks awesome. Like we have a leaf shield that the firing is inverted left and right. So it looked like megakyle was moving to the right and shooting the leaf shield to the left.
That's one of the special things about Randomizer, for those that don't know. Weapon attributes are actually randomized as well. As you can see, as explained, the leaf shield can have reverse horizontal movement, but it can also have reverse vertical movement as well. We have not seen if it has reverse vertical firing yet, but we'll probably see at some point, maybe, maybe not. Meanwhile, this is kind of a somewhat nasty heat area.
Yeah, those Metroids are wreaking a little bit of havoc on Dagit here, and megakyle's going to... we'll see how both of the runners cope with that early Heatman section. Looks like
yeah, that's always
Metroids are taking a lot of shots and not going down.
Yeah, that
he almost died.
Right, that hit over those platforms. You're standing on one of those bricks in midair at the end of that that first corridor there. Oh my goodness, it's such a scary hit to take. But Dagit made it through. See how Kyle gets through. Dagit setting up the zip here, and he gets it. And here goes Kyle. He's gonna take the same hit. Yep. And no problems for either runner on that section. So good stuff.
Actually, having 3 Metroids on the screen is actually very dangerous, as having more Metroids on the screen actually increases lag, which increases Mega Man's knockback. So having increased knockback on single platforms like that is really, really scary. So it's fortunate that both Dagit and megakyle were able to survive. And with item 2, the Yoku block section is pretty much a non-issue. Meanwhile, Dagit's about to face our next Robot Master, which is Bubbleman. Let's see what Bubbleman does. Lots of high bubbles. And he's pretty much standard. So this should be a relatively simple-ish fight, but Dagit is really low on energy.
Oh, takes a death. He had a couple E-tanks. Ooh.
Yeah, you just hate to see that kind of thing happen. That gives Kyle the opportunity to catch up a little bit more, and yeah, Kyle's gonna be right behind him into this Bubbleman fight.
And we got a pretty buster quote-unquote weak Bubbles, so this is a pretty fast fight, and both of these guys are on our last Robot Master, so right now this is a pretty close match right now. It's pretty much anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, what was about 45 seconds going into this stage is now down to about 7-8 seconds, and we have both runners going into Crashman with less than 10 seconds separating them.
And I see bunnies on the first screen of Crash. This is going to be interesting if they can't zip in this stage. One of the nuances about Crashman stage and Randomizer, the first screen that you see in Crashman stage is actually going to be the enemy that you see in the platforms, the moving platform screens that is in megakyle about to go through. And the rabbits are one of the worst ones because they actually block the ladder as you're climbing, like so.
You know what was really, really interesting is Dagit actually set it up. Kyle went ahead, he switched item 1, but he skipped it. Dagit set it up, and he could have done it. He just did not try to item 1 trigger at the end there. But as soon as Mega Man's head touches the ceiling there at that item 1 zip, you can hit item 1 trigger, and then there you go. You can, and off to go, you zip.
Megakyle is opting to use Flash to get up the rabbit section, while Dagit opts to use item 3 and tries to get up as fast as he can. Right now, Megakyle seems to have a better scope of what he wants to do right now, as Dagit is kind of struggling a little bit and lost his lead as a result.
Yeah, he's having some trouble with these rabbits here.
Literally using all his arsenal except Flash. Not wanting to trust Flash because Flash has the possibility of running out completely like in Vanilla. But in this seed, and as another randomizer weapon shenanigan, the time stopper can actually have a brief duration. If you know how the flash stopper works in Mega Man 4, it actually has the potential to work in that way. So you get a brief period of time where time stops for a random amount of energy, as you can see what Megakyle just did just now. So having that particular ability is really good for this particular stage, at least for this seed.
Yeah, and Dagit getting caught up with these rabbits again. Oh, he's item 3 and again though. So looks like he's gonna make it out.
Yeah, but it was pretty time consuming. Dagit is falling quite a bit behind. He's actually at the midway point, while Megakyle is almost at his final fight. Final Robot Master. Oh wait, it was trying to figure out what Robot Master was left.
Airman?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Good call, guys. Keep me on my toes. And a really long jump, Airman. No good
Megakyle's
spacing.
gotta be careful here. Alright. Got it underneath him. If Megakyle would have been bodied by Airman, that would have been it right then and there. Maybe could have avoided using the E-Tank, but I think we saw with Dagit, it's better to use the E-Tank than waste about the 15 seconds or so by taking a death on a boss.
Yeah, Kyle definitely waited to the last second to use it, but he saw there was no way around it, had to take it.
Guys, hold on, wait a second. There's something that's up. There's something's up.
What is it? I have no idea what you're talking about here.
We got Megakyle through the first 8 Robot Masters and going to Wally 1. You know what time it is. For those that are new to this randomizer, we got ourselves our own little game. Everybody, it's time to guess the color of the Mega Dragon. The colors in Mega Man 2, as you see, are randomized, and the Mega Dragon is no different. So for those in chat, you can type in what color is the Mega Dragon, and for extra bonus points, or extra credit as I like to call, you can actually guess its weakness as well. There's 2 chances for weakness, including a chance for Buster, so get those guesses in.
Alright, well I'm feeling like this is a Barney the Purple Dragosaur kind of day for me. So I'm going with purple, and you know, since Barney loves everybody, and we have some huggy bubbles which might show up later on, I'm gonna go with the bubble lead for the weakness.
What's Barney's little sidekick's name? Betty Bop or something? I don't know.
Betty Boop, I think.
Is that the one? Yeah, I'll go with that color.
So pretty much expecting a combination of green and purple. I'm gonna go with my tried and true rare color combination and hope for a monochrome dragon with air weakness.
I'm not sure. I don't know if it's more sad that I guess the color, or that like a bunch of grown men are correcting me in the chat.
It's still a part of your childhood.
It's fine.
It's not.
I got the belly color right, at least. Looks like, is that the metal blade that Megakyle's using?
Well, as far as weakness goes, we got one out of the way. I didn't see if megakyle tried for Buster. So Buster is still on the table, as well as the remaining 6 weapons, because Flash is never a weakness for a Wily boss.
Oh man, that's great. Alright, yeah, dragging down for megakyle, so he's holding on to a comfortable lead here. He's got plenty of item 2 here. Fills out some item 3 on the way.
But I'm pretty sure that megakyle is probably gonna guess wall weaknesses here. Wall weaknesses are also random. It has a chance to be Crash, but it's definitely not guaranteed. So we might see megakyle dig for wall weaknesses here, or he might just go ahead and just skip it all and wait for Boo Bean to make guesses. And that he does.
Yeah, megakyle looks like he wants to go fast, and well, Buster's not it, Bubble's not it, so mine's out. That's a shame. Oh, the quick boomerang's actually not working for the first time in forever, it feels like. Leaf shield? Nope.
He's just completely ignoring air. He completely ignored air 100%. Come on now. Yeah, at least give me my chance for my guess.
Well, we'll be able to see at the end when they list all the weaknesses. We'll have to, you know, cheat on the answer key and see if you were right.
Feels friggin' bad, man.
Now, I recall them both using the air shooter, and it didn't look like it had a very favorable shot pattern to it.
Well, that could be it. I did not see how air shooter's pattern was acting up. Meanwhile, megakyle doing Pico Pico and decides to stick with Quick Boomerang as one of the 3 potential weakness. 4 if Buster was it, but I think that megakyle tried it and didn't work. Otherwise, he wouldn't start with Quick Boomerang.
Now, just for reference, megakyle spawned into Wily 2 stage at 25 minutes even. Dagit spawned in a little bit before 26:45, so there is a little over a minute and a half to a minute and 45-second difference between the 2 runners right now. And it's gonna go a little bit further because Dagit's gonna use some time here to figure out what the wall weaknesses are.
Meanwhile, megakyle is starting off his Wily 3. Wily 3 can be a potentially deceptively scary stage, especially if the Fat Fans are around. If the Fat Fans are around, and since they're defenders in Inquisition and you never expect them, you can actually catch yourself falling into a nasty little spike death. Instead, we got falling crabs.
The crash wall weakness was.
Neither did I. I was focusing on megakyle.
Well, I'll give you a hint. It's not even randomized because I think whoever did this seed forgot to shuffle the deck. You know, got a little bit of it, but not all of it. It was the crash bomb.
Not it. Not it. So yeah, megakyle making his way through Wily 3 here. We'll see what Guts Tank is week 2 here shortly. Dagit is gonna have to find something to deal with Pico, and he finds Metal Blade very fast.
Metal Blade being one of the more vanilla-ish weaknesses, or at least the one that's easily used, and it's one-shotting them. Meanwhile, we got Quick Boomerangs for Guts Tank. More vanilla-ish stuff. Good job, Seed. Good job.
Yeah, I was definitely sitting here pondering a bit to if I should reset the tracker and re-track the refights. What do you guys think? Should I do that?
That might be a fun idea.
I might end up doing that by the time these guys get there.
Well, at any rate, megakyle is starting off his Wily Forest, and You know those vanishing platforms, those fake platforms that's coming up at least in the screen after this one? Yeah, here in the preceding screen, they're randomized. So you don't know which floors are fake. And that's really scary for the screen that megakyle is actually skipping.
Yeah, megakyle just decided to say no to that random floor madness and used item 2 and then actually used a item 3 zip to bypass the spike screen entirely.
So it seems like we got Prop Talked as one of our potential enemies for this elevator section. It might be scary, but I'm gonna assume that megakyle probably gonna be damage boosting and utilizing the item 1 to get there, assuming... Well, he ain't doing anything yet. Oh, he decided to wait out, then do the damage boost.
Oh, there we go. Nice pause buffer to make the turn there, and we're going to have another pause buffer for megakyle to get through this last section as well.
So we know that the walls are technically vanilla crash bomb weakness, but we don't know what the boobing turret weakness is going to be. The boobing turret is actually going to be randomized. They're going to have a separate weakness from the walls, so we know that crash bombs are out for the boo beams. So megakyle is gonna have to dig for a different weakness.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you guys caught it, but Dagit did find a different weakness than megakyle for the Guts Dozer in Bubble. So that was pretty neat. It's always cool to see what these bosses are weak to, especially in later stages of the game.
Looks like the Buster shot.
Yeah, look like we got a pretty much a godsend weakness. Although it takes multiple shots to destroy with the Buster, you also get the trade-off that you don't have to use many weapons. Well, except for crash bombs to destroy the walls, but still that's some weapon ammo saved that you now have a Buster weakness.
Yeah, I think about the only thing that I'd really want to see above a Buster weakness for the Boo Beam turret is like a Metal Blade or a Leaf Shield weakness, so that way you can forego even touching the crash walls at all.
Also in chat, that question that the Boo Beams were Buster soft. No, Buster is actually the hard weakness. The Boo Beam has one weakness and one weakness only. So in this case, Buster is that one weakness. So it is a hard, quote-unquote, hard weakness, even though it did take multiple shots to destroy him.
Yeah, out of the whole bosses, I believe the dragon has 2 weapons that it's vulnerable to.
Yes.
Pikatan has 2 or 3.
It has 3.
Guts Dozer has 3?
It has 2.
It has 2. Okay. The turrets have 1. The alien has 1.
The alien also has 1.
The Wily Machine has, I think, 4?
Yes, and they have the potential to be switched between phases. So what may be good for phase 1 may not work for phase 2, and it also has the chance to be Buster weak, which, if it's the case, is weak in both phases.
Ooh, megakyle getting a nice quick man here, just bouncing him up in the air and juggling him until he ran out of Metal Blade shots.
Well, that was Flashman, but that was still a pretty wise use of the Metal Blades and Flashman's AI quirk.
Yeah, he must have thought he was playing like Marvel vs. Capcom or something. With the juggle combos, you know? I'm a fighting game guy, please, come on.
I'll allow it.
Question in chat, the number of weaknesses change? No, the weaknesses technically does not change, the number of them. However, it does still increase the strength of the Robot Masters, making using weapons a little more viable and kind of a little more dangerous, especially in Wily stages, since you're potentially going to be using more of them. And that's going to make weapon ammo management much more of a necessary task.
Megakyle, knowing that Heatman only takes 2 ticks of damage, went and started looking for a better weapon to use, and he settled on the Quick Boomerang. With only Bubble Man left, it looks like Megakyle's going to be on to the Wily machine fight here in a quick second.
And is it Buster Week? Yes, it is. So that means both phases will be weak to Buster.
Which yet again is one of those godsend weaknesses, because you don't have to dig for weapons and save on weapon energy. Speaking of which, you notice there are 2 large weapon capsules in the Wily fight, Wily machine fight. You'll also see the same thing in Wily 6. Those were quality of life additions made by Duckfist because of the option or reality that you might be using a lot of weapon energy and you might be running low. So just in case you might be low on a weapon like Megakyle is now with his metal, he's going to take this chance and opportunity to fill up using one of these newly added weapon capsules. So if you want to thank someone for making little things more simpler, you can thank or curse Duckfist, whichever suits your fancy.
Speaking of fancy, we got some fancy colors coming up on these aliens. Guys, quick, guess. Red and yellow.
I'm gonna go pink and purple.
I'm abstaining because it's too late.
Well, Megakyle actually went left on what I like to call Victory Road, and it's gonna cost him a little bit of time. I think I would have tried to fish for a weakness first, take a death, but, you know, I'm a little more risky when it comes to things like that, so, you know, it could backfire, and we find Leaf Shield, which is gonna be a tough one to land.
But he works perfectly, and for that, we got ourselves a winner for race 1 of our best of 3. megakyle83 finishing in first place with official SRL time of 37 minutes and 27 seconds. GG for game 1.
GG's indeed.
Well, Dagit's definitely not far behind. He's on his Wily machine fight, and he will find that it's Buster Week. And he'll be on to, again, what I like to call Victory Road with the Wily 6 stage. And it looks like Dagit will almost certainly be falling to the right side, as he took a little time there to check his items and see where he was at, so he knew what to charge up with the weapon energy drop.
Guys, quick, guess the color of the alien.
I don't remember what color it was.
JK. Oh, that fight went so fast with Megakyle. I remember the color. I don't guess, I didn't see it.
To be fair, I wasn't paying attention either. I was just focusing on what weapon was even weak to the alien. But I abstained for guessing anyway, so I don't count anyway.
I'm with 2 people that aren't even paying attention. It was a yellow body and a purple head.
No, I saw that part. It said the weakness. I am paying attention, trust me. I was running the tracker as well. So. I missed the weakness. My bad.
It was the Leaf Shield. Oh no, Dagit skipped over it. There you go. That's the right one.
Well, in all fairness, Leaf Shield is one of those weapons that's usually pretty skipped over, usually very hard to wield, usually has a lot of weapon ammo problems, but regardless, we got a finish from Dagit with official SRL time of 39 minutes and 42 seconds. Thus, we complete ourselves game one of 3, I mean, with megakyle up 1-0.
Yeah, if Dagit takes game 2, that'll force a game 3. Otherwise, megakyle will be able to take this match down if he can pull off another win in game 2.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the not the worst gap I've seen. Just a little over 2.5 minutes behind for Dagit, but he was ahead a good amount of the race.
Air was the dragon weakness. Air was dragon weakness. We're seeing the damage table right now. I would have been right, but the air shooter was really, really bad.
I can dig it. Man, good stuff.
Well done, Creed. You successfully guessed the weakness of the dragon.
But it was such a bad weakness, though. It kind of negates it all.
Yeah, the way that air shooter was working was not very cooperative to the runners in this particular seed. Then again, you might get an air shooter that works completely differently in game 2, but that's part of the fun of the randomizer. You're going to have to readjust as the runner to all of the nuances that you might have gotten accustomed to in game 1. They aren't really going to translate perfectly into game 2.
Anyway, as we try to get our next seed set, tell us what's your opinion about how this race wound up? What do you think we got here?
Well, game 1 was maybe it was nerves for megakyle, but he came out of the gates a little slow, and but he made his mistake in, I believe, Airman, where he just forgot to jump as far as he needed to jump, and took a death. Dagit had the lead, but I believe he kind of failed in the execution department in the Crashman stage, trying to get through the elevator rooms, and megakyle at that point got ahead and was able to simply stay ahead and took down game 1.
Yeah, for the most part, it was mostly that crash stage that really held Dagit up. It was by that time that megakyle just did the smarter choice and just used Flash. And luckily, Flash was actually one of the better versions of it, where it was a partial time and not a full weapon cost, and was able to get through the crash section very quickly, as opposed to Dagit, which used everything, including the kitchen sink, except it didn't even need the kitchen sink when he just had one more thing he could have used, and that probably would have made things so much easier for him. And afterwards, it was just pretty much hard for Dagit to recover, as megakyle just pretty much took the lead from there and just simply kept it.
Yeah, once megakyle took the lead in that crash stage, he didn't really give much of an opportunity for Dagit to find his way back in throughout any part of the Wily stages. Usually you see an untimely death to a dragon through so many different means that I could probably list them off through about halfway through game 2, but I'll suffice to say that the dragon is a treacherous boss, and it will cost you a good minute and a half to recover on that particular death. I can see game 2 going entirely different. If Dagit tightens up, executes to the level that got him here in the first place, you know, Game 2 is anybody's race.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Dagit did bad, megakyle did great. Like you guys said, you know, megakyle started off a little slow, and then consistency paid off. Dagit, unfortunately, lost some time and Crash. Gonna have to see if perhaps what the seed has in store for these guys, and how both the runners are able to handle it forward.
Biggest double checking a few things before we releasing the floodgates. So yeah, we got our next race officially ready to go. Everything seemed to be set. Our runners are ready, and the countdown SRL has officially begun. So in a few moments, we let the race actually catch up to us in stream, and we get ourselves race 2 of 3 of a potential 3 between Dagit and megakyle. Remember, this is a winners match. This is a winners round 1 match of the second brackets. The winner will move on to the next round, while the loser is sent to losers. This is the double elimination tournament. So the loser, this is not out yet, but they are going to be pretty much in danger. They're going to be sent